And we're back. It's another episode of Peace Guard TV, and I got my dog, DJ Rita, again for another week. Deej Beej, we're back. Come on now. We are back, brother.
Yo, we're here. I mean, my name's fine. I don't know if you really want to just keep going with Deej, but I'm cool with Deej. But yeah. All right. Hey, man, I like it. I'm rocking with it.
Well, Deej, first of all, today was an off day for you, yeah?
Yeah, today was an off day, man. It was an off day.
The folks who are doing the research out there have pulled some evidence of Pilates today.
Yeah, man. I'm a big fan. I wasn't just started going this year, really consistently. I wasn't like a big fan. You know, I like my off days to myself. I'm a big guy. I kind of like to chill, hang out, play some Madden, do whatever. But so I've tried to become a better leader and a better teammate, and invest more into my career towards the end of it. So I wanted to make sure I started to leave no stone unturned. So Pilates is what I'm doing now. I'm enjoying it. I see what the kick was about. I see why everybody enjoyed it before. I get it.
No stone unturned.
No stone unturned.
You on the reformer?
Yeah, I am on the reformer. That little thing's tricky.
Exercise is crazy.
Nah, what the hardest exercise is for me? I don't know but it works your adductors when you like go in and out. Like you just take your foot and you slide it in and out. You might have like one cord on there.
That shit is tough.
Hey, bro, let me tell you, that machine be kicking my ass when it comes to that. I get like 2 reps in, I'm looking at her, she's like, well, you got 8 more, and I'm
like, yeah. It's also when you have to do like the plank and you have maybe your elbows on the little sliding part, and there's not a whole lot of resistance, and you gotta go out and then come back in. That's tough, man. It's tough on the abs.
Man, they come up with some tricky shit with that little machine, man. They come up with some stuff. Like they got some techniques and I can't do the group settings because I got embarrassed one time in a group setting, so I can't do it anymore. Like a lot of the older women are really good at this. Like they do this. This is what they do. They're really good at Pilates. Like, it hurt me the one day I went into a group setting and I just watched them not struggle at all.
Bro, I know exactly where you're coming from, but for me, it's happened in SoulCycle. Being in SoulCycle, and bro, that can be so tough. And especially like I'm not really built for riding bikes because I'm top heavy. I got a big diaphragm, big shoulders, big upper body. My legs, all thighs, calves, just like that's not where my power comes from.
That's not where your power is.
Being there, it don't matter if it's older women, younger people, dudes that look out of shape, just in there hitting it.
They don't stop.
Hitting it. Yeah,
they don't
easy.
stop.
And I'm struggling. I gotta take breaks, calves cramping up. I don't know what you mean. I've been there.
I've had one of the most embarrassing moments of my life in SoulCycle. I was in the SoulCycle in New York, and I decided they're upstairs, they have their lockers upstairs, and I decided to put my shoes on while I was upstairs. The shoes for the bike. If you know anything about those shoes, you have to walk on your heels the whole time because they got clips. They have clips at the front of those shoes. I start going down the steps. About 2 steps in,
you slipped
and fell down the rest of the steps.
No, you didn't.
How
many steps?
At least 10. Just backslide all the way down the steps. I slid to the front desk. Slid to like the front desk entry where like people were coming in there, and the girl comes out from out the class like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm straight. I'm good. One of the most embarrassing moments I've ever had. I know everybody heard it. I walked in
Did
they
they?
all they did not
Did
nope.
they?
They were real respectable about it. Like they didn't move. None of them turned and looked at me when I walked in the class. But like I know they all heard that shit. They had to. There's no way
What?
to.
Not, they heard and felt that shit, DJ. It's like, why is my bike rumbling like this?
Hey, yo, I felt so hard, bro. I was like, like,
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Man.
You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful.
Especially when you're a big guy. I've had a bunch of those moments where I've either broke something or failed. All because I didn't make sure that things were either big boy certified or, you know what I'm saying, didn't check the sturdiness or did something I wasn't supposed to. So you got to be cautious when you're bigger.
100%. 100%. You know, you can play 80 snaps of a professional football game, but you can't walk down 10 stairs with the bike shoes on. It's all about experience, man. You just got to be seasoned in what you do. You know what I mean? You just got, it takes practice. It's been a interesting week of ball. Last night was the Monday Night Football game, Seahawks and the Giants, and there was some drama in that game. The announcement came earlier on in the week that Jamal Adams was making his return from the injury that's held him out for the first 4 weeks of the season. And boom, he comes back. First drive, makes a play, nice big hit. And then later on in the drive, Daniel Jones scrambling out. He tucks it, he runs on the perimeter. Jamal Adams goes for the legs, catches the knee in the helmet. Bow. Lays there for a second. I saw the highlight, so I didn't see it all the way through, but he laid there for a good little second. He was shook up, definitely shook up. And then the third-party official, the neuroscientist that puts us through concussion protocols, he ruled Jamal Adams to be unable to return to the game. And then Jamal was pretty pissed off. He has some words to say to the guy in the red hat. Looks like he may have cussed him out. He definitely was like, you know, it was Boobie Miles-esque. Just I didn't hear what was being said, but who paying you? You from Midland?
Hey, a little bit of the pointing was going on. It's never good when you got the finger point going. The finger point, it always.
Where you from?
It's always tough, but I know, you know, it was good to see my boy, you know, return. You know, I'm a big fan of his. Don't know him personally. Big fan of his and what he does out there for the sport and how he gets after it. You know, he's one of the special like blitz and back like defensive backs in our league. Like he does a good job like mixing it up, coming into coverage and coming out of coverage and doing things. And I know he's excited to get back out there. He's an explosive player. They love him, and it sucked to see him get cut short because it's tough, man. But you know, when you get knee to the head, and that's that third party guy's job. Like he's supposed to watch out for the player, and he's only protecting you from yourself. You know, you get shook up on something like that, and I know it's very frustrating to have to come out the game, but you don't. You know what I mean? There's so many other worse things that could happen by you going back into that game with you know, I don't know what all happened, how he felt after. You know, that's up to them and their decision. But, you know, like that's just the way it's going to be. And that's the way we've worked it out in our CBA. And I think it's for the betterment of things more so than like holding people back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it's so hard, especially in the situation with him and, you know, coming back. It's his first game back, you know, the energy, the adrenaline, he's in it. He's balling too. He had a solid pregame fit. I mean, it was a perfect storm for him to come back and do his thing and then to have it be cut so short. And especially when he, you know, obviously felt like he can go back and play, you know, it's tough as a player. But to your point, you know, it's that man's job to make sure that, you know, he's limiting the risks, mitigating the risks of hand injuries, and a knee to the head is one of those things that you know, you got to be careful with. it can shake you up. So, yeah, it's tough deal. I love the way he plays the game.
Yeah.
There was I remember earlier on in his career when him and Julian Edelman, they used to have some battles.
Oh yeah, the kid's good, man. Like he gets after it. He's physical. He's special coming out of college, like out of LSU. He's been doing his thing for a long time, and he'll get back out there. I think it's tough because and I think in moments we especially as athletes, we want to push through things and put ourselves almost in harm's way for a moment, and just to try to prove that we are who we say we are, and that can really cost us a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? It's much longer, much more substantial amount of time after that. Like it can really mess us up. So I think that was tough to watch, and I hopefully he understands today. He woke up today and was like, you know what, man, we got a dub. I got a chance to be back out there next week. Go back out there and get back to balling.
Yeah, for sure. Have you dealt with concussions in your career?
No. Knock on wood, I haven't had any of those. I had one in high school, and it was, it was enough to let me know that if anything ever felt like that again, I need to get the hell out the game.
I'm out of there. Yeah.
I think the one in high school, I checked myself out. Like I hit somebody. I came to the sideline. My coach was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "The game's over." He's like, "What do you mean?"
Oh, wow.
I was like, "It's over. We won. I did it. I won it right there." Like, and that was just. I remember going to the hospital and being like, "Man, these lights were so bright. I couldn't get it." Yeah, it was rough. Have you ever had any?
You thought the game was over. Meanwhile, it was second quarter.
It was like third quarter. I mean, I wasn't far off.
Yeah. According to the scoreboard, the game was
far
over.
off.
Yeah. No, that's funny. No, I haven't. I also haven't had any diagnosed concussions. I've definitely had my bell rung over my career, but nothing like where I blacked out or couldn't remember something. Definitely like have come out of games and not felt all the way right because of a big hit or something. So it's probably minor concussions that I've had, but been blessed not to have anything super crazy. I have, however, gone through concussion protocol before, which is a crazy thing.
It's an interesting little. Yeah.
It's actually a difficult set of questions whether you get a concussion or not.
Facts.
They will. It's something to the extent of like, where you from, where you born. That's easy. What's your birthday? What day of the week is it? Who we playing tonight?
Slippery
slope. Those are all like, okay, I'm good. I'm answering these straight.
Yeah.
And then they might be like, give me the months of the year backwards.
And you're
like, okay, yeah, let's go now. Now you're testing me. And then the where it really gets tough, they'll be like, who scored the last touchdown? They hit me with that one time, Deej, and I was like, shit, who did score the last touchdown?
I don't know, man. I play defense.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to that. I'm just hoping we score. And luckily, this was when we were in Houston. And so I was like, Hopkins? Like, yeah, I think DeAndre probably scored that shit. It's like,
okay, he probably got one. He got one today at least. Like, I'm in the right ballpark.
That protocol is definitely an interesting experience.
Dude, the thing about even the tests they make you take like preseason, you gotta like remember the shapes and all that stuff. You're like, all right, I'm good with the numbers. I can remember some numbers you give me. I can remember some words. But you asked me to remember like shape, and it's like 2 squigglies here, or did it have 3 squigglies? Or did come on, bro, you can't just throw that randomly in like a test and expect me to remember those minor details of what's going on. Like those tests be trying to mess with you. And so what I heard is you're better off doing worse That way you don't have such a big baseline when something happens to you.
Sandbag the baseline.
But they might think something's wrong with you if you sandbag.
yeah. You can't do. That is also a tough line. You got to balance there. All right, Deej. Well, we have a new segment called Hot Takes of the Week.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read a hot take, and then you respond. Number 1, the Patriots should tank for Caleb Williams.
I'm never a fan of tanking. I'm not a fan of tanking, dude. I feel like there's guys out there, there's grown men out there, working. They got families to feed, guys in their contract years. There's things going on. I don't understand how you ask a guy to go out there and tank. So I don't think that's ever the answer.
Yeah, I don't even know how you do that. How do you tank?
I don't get it.
How do you actually practically tank?
I get the NBA. The NBA like rest people. So they but it's not until the end of the season, but they purposely tank sometimes. I don't know that you can healthy scratch guys in the NFL. You're in week 4. You talking you're about to go to week 5. You think you know how much heat you're gonna catch if you're healthy scratching people in week 5?
What?
Jesus.
But then also too, dudes ain't trying to be healthy scratched. If I'm trying to be out there and play. I'm trying to go get this bag. I need every game. Yeah. I got things to do. All right. CJ Stroud is the next big quarterback in the NFL.
I hope so. I want to see the kid do well. So I hope so. He's done really, really good these first 4 weeks. He's gone out there and really did his thing. So it's awesome to see. And it's awesome to see that it translated over from college to the league and kids really confident out there, city behind him. So I know he's having a good time.
Yeah, I haven't honestly watched him play enough. I'm curious how Bryce Young is doing. It's tough to when you're not really watching film to really understand how well players are playing. So
yeah. Well, CJ's playing really well. He's got some really good numbers. I haven't watched just full film on him, but he's got some really good numbers, and it's a young team. They got a couple dubs under their belt, so he's doing his thing. He's out there leading those boys to a couple wins. So it's interesting to see how it keeps going for him.
Belichick isn't Belichick without Tom Brady.
Nah, I don't agree with that. The guy's got championships before Tom Brady. He's got them with Tom Brady.
Did he?
Yeah, when he was with the Giants, with LT. He wasn't the head coach, but he's a hell of a coordinator, hell of a coach, man. I don't think that it's just, Belichick isn't this without this. He's had successful seasons. Not necessarily, I wouldn't say won a championship without Tom in New England, but he's had successful seasons while Tom's been out, Tom's been hurt. He's won the games. He's won games before. Right. I wouldn't take that. Come on, man. It's Belichick. We can't take that away from that guy as a coach, man. He the man.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that. I don't think you can count his Giants championships though, because he wasn't at the helm of the ship.
He's
I think this.
They're playing great defense. One of the greatest defensive players to ever play.
It counts. it counts as the ring counts, but Belichick earned his stripes as the winning these championships with the New England Patriots. Obviously, the extensiveness of his career, what he's done as a full body of work, includes the New York Giants. But I also think it's an interesting question, and I do agree with you. I think that Belichick is a great coach with or without Tom Brady. I do think what's been maybe difficult is because they were together for so long that inevitably the program gets built and integrated around the best player on your team, which is the quarterback, which is the best quarterback to have played this game. So then when you remove that from the equation, you have 20 years of curated, tailored success with one thread that's been through all those 20 years. So then you remove the thread. I think it does take time to build that fabric back
but
together.
I think,
Which isn't to say that Belichick isn't Belichick without Brady, but
mm-hmm.
it does take some retooling, which obviously we're seeing now.
Yeah, he's obviously going to have to rebuild, but I also think his thing's always been defense. Like, he's a defensive mind, he's a defensive coach, and they're still playing good defense. So, like, that's the thing. They're still playing good defense, and it's hard to go from, damn, Tom won so much to Mac Jones, who's trying to, I don't know, he's trying to figure his way out. I don't know what he has going on. I haven't watched him much, but it's not going to be Tom. Like, nobody is, though. Nobody's going to step in and be Tom, like, off. So, I mean, you kind of see how it goes, but I don't think that takes away from him, the coach, per se. I think, obviously, like you said, that relationship, when it falls apart, it takes a little while to kind of mend those type of things and figure it out, especially when you're the one stuck somewhere. You didn't go somewhere and get new weapons and get new things and get this and the third. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Agree. Christian McCaffrey, a.k.a. C-Mac, is looking at an MVP season if he stays healthy.
He's running the hell out of that football, man.
That boy toting that rock.
I know I got to face him after the bye week, so I got a couple of weeks before that. I got to face those guys, but he's running the hell out of the football right now. So, I mean, with all the things that happened with him in Carolina, the kind of ups and downs he was going on, injuries and stuff, it's good to see him healthy this year and playing good ball. So I'm happy for him. Yeah,
for sure. I'm a big Christian McCaffrey fan. I'm biased. Obviously, that's my boy. And he's an incredible player that he could do so many different things on the football field. And it's great to see a guy who is committed as he is, dedicates himself to his craft, who had some bad breaks, man, over the last couple of years in Carolina with the injuries. Then to be able to bounce back and be in a system now that complements all of his strengths and really be balling. I mean, I think he has a good chance at MVP. I mean, obviously we're only in week 5, but I'm a C-Mac fan through and through. So I'm in.
Oh yeah, man. He's running the pill. He's running the way it's supposed to be run. Those backs that we watched back in the day when we were growing up and stuff, like, he's running that ball. I love to watch it.
Well, there's our hot takes, man.
That was it. Oh, I'd like to give a shout out to my boy K-Jack. We did ice the game the other day, for the first dub. K-Jack came in with the icing of the game, played the ball perfect. I don't know if you got a chance to watch.
I didn't see it.
Played the inside route perfect, jumped it, knee on knee, not being selfish, didn't try to crib it, knee slide, game, walk off in Denver.
Love that.
What a vet, man. What a vet, man. I just saw my guy, I know he had been getting a hard time with the hits and the fines and stuff. So it was good to see my guy to get a walk-off pick the other day.
Did you watch that game?
I did not watch that game.
I think that was a comeback, right?
Yes, I believe it was. I believe it was a comeback.
Yeah.
Game.
Good for KJ. KJ TV has come back. I haven't seen the episode yet, but I saw the promo.
I did see he was coming back. I just wanted to, on the hot takes, I wanted to give my boy a shout out in the hot takes.
So now we're going to move on to our college session. And we're focusing on the Pac-12 today because, one, I played in the Pac-12, so I'm biased. But the Pac-12 boys is balling.
The Pac is back, man.
The Pac is back,
man.
Come on, man. Caleb Williams, USC, which they played Colorado. Great game. USC ended up winning 48-41, but Shador and the boys tried to come back at the end of the game. Caleb Williams, 403 yards, 6 touchdowns. That man is on a Heisman campaign. The Pac-12 now really has 3 Heisman, probably 3 runners in the Heisman race. You got Bo Nix from Oregon. You got really maybe 4 if you say Shador Sanders. You got Caleb Williams. And then you got Buddy from Washington. I don't know. I always forget his name. Phoenix?
Michael Penix or
Michael
Penix.
Penix. Yeah, Michael Penix.
But the kid from Washington State can throw it around too. There's a couple kids out there, especially in that pack, that are throwing the ball around the yard right now. Caleb Williams had an amazing performance. He went out there and was balling. Kid was on fire. He's making throws out there looking crazy. He's going back and looking like Jeter out there, short, throwing the ball around the yard. Then, Shador, what an amazing comeback, to have he went to his freshman in critical moments. That's a true sign for me as like a leader. He's aware of everybody on his team. Like he's aware of everybody on the team, everybody who's open. He's making some really, really good throws. Had some rough moments to begin the game, but ended up going out there and balling. The kid at Washington is like, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch, but he is putting every ball like literally on the money.
Mm.
He's throwing like 40, 45 yard like line drives, like straight to the receivers in the pocket. Like he looks really, really good. I think he's an Indiana transfer. He's at Indiana first, but he's a lefty, so he's got that lefty going. And then the kid from Washington State, he's throwing around the yard too. He looks really, really good right now as well.
Yeah. I've always been impressed by your ability to scout talent. I feel like you have a keen eye on whether at any position, offensive, defensive, whether college kids can actually play the game and if it will translate into professional ball. What makes a college quarterback a great college quarterback?
I think that like winning's important. I think there's obviously certain throws and things that you watch, but I think winning, I'm not saying you got to win every game, but I do think that like being able to lead a group of guys out there to go get wins, and especially later on in your career, is like super important. I don't think that you want to be a guy who loses games like all the time, and that you want that as a quarterback. I also think like it takes a guy who's going to be in the film room, who's smart, who's willing to make those sacrifices. At that position, you got to watch more film than everybody else. It just is what it is. And so I think that you get to see a lot of the kids' competitiveness in these college games because momentum shifts are huge. And so I always like to see that from the college quarterback, like which quarterback kind of going to respond. You always don't have your best day, but which guy's going to respond and have a good, be able to come back and at least like keep his team within those games and like things like that. So I like to kind of watch that when I'm watching college QBs, but I also don't really like. I don't think they're all hits. I've been high on a couple guys and they haven't worked out, but I like watching them and watching the development over the years. I think there's a couple of guys this year though that are pretty special in this draft coming up. Well, if they, you see the Caleb Williams situation, he says he might not come out. There's only like 5 teams he'll play for.
Yeah. When you're watching a college game, how do you watch it? Do you watch individual players like as you're watching it on TV? You watch individual players, or are you seeing the big picture, or are you doing both? How are you watching the game of football?
I try to do both. When I'm watching offense, I try to see what matchup I would go at and then kind of watch those matchups. Like if the play works out the way, if I think it's a run play or pass play, kind of watch the matchup I think would either break down or be in a good situation. But I think college plays are a little bit easier to see, especially when you play ball like my level. Like you just see them more. You see what's going to happen, kinda. I couldn't tell you every play, but like a lot of the plays, I can kind of tell you like, oh, well, this match. If I was a coach, like this matchup just seemed right there, like that's the one I'm gonna go at right there. Like it just don't seem like this guy's a 5-star and the other guy might be a construction worker next year. So this is who I'm going at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of things I look at sometimes. And then on the defensive side, I like watching individual guys. I watch a lot of D-line play. But I think any position though, if you're watching the game close enough you'll see guys stick out the whole game because if you're watching it close enough, you're gonna see who making plays. And I'm not saying you got to be on every tackle or this and the third to make plays. You're just gonna see who's in the right spot, who's making plays when opportunity comes.
Yeah, that's so funny, bro. I always, as I've been a football fan and viewer, very rarely, really until I've like gotten to the league, but like my natural tendency is not to think about strategy in the game. oftentimes we'll just zero in on like the most athletic player or the best player on the team, and all like, how fast is a guy, how strong is a guy, how, is he making plays? And I kind of just like start watching that very really well. I don't look at the matchups and then think about, okay, if I was in this position, if I was a coach or if I was a quarterback, I would expose it this way. Unless I'm like, really, I got to be consciously like, okay, Brennan, like, let's think strategically as we watch this game.
I've spent my whole life like as a role player. So like I've always looked at it that way. Like, well, I always try to find the guys. Well, who's got what role? Because like when I join a team, I immediately identify like what my role is and try to lean into that as hard as possible as just being a player. Like I've always been that. I've played obviously like the four in basketball. Nobody's like the four is not like usually the man on your team unless you're Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the four, who cares? But I'm adding to the team. In baseball, I play first base. Like nobody cares about the first baseman. He can hit bombs, which is like where I added to the team. Play D line, O line, like kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of always been my thing. Just kind of identify what your role is, excel in that. And so I watch for the guys and what their role is and try to build my team together off that, or what I would think would be good.
Yeah. One thing about college football these days is, especially with quarterbacks, in the past, the quarterback has not been the most diverse position.
No.
I remember when I was playing NCAA football back in the day, to find the black quarterback on the game, there was a few teams, a couple teams. You had West Virginia with Pat White and the boys.
Yeah, Oregon had
Oregon with Darren Thomas or Masoli, or who was in NCAA. I don't remember who they had.
Yeah, who it was.
Yeah. But now
might catch Vic on Virginia Tech.
Right. Yep. For sure. And they had a squad too, because they had somebody else on at receiver that he was throwing the ball to. That was nice. But now in 2023, the black quarterback is so prominent, and it's a really beautiful thing to see.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome, man. I think the game's changed so much to dual threat. Don't think that dual threat actually means what dual threat used to be when we were coming up. Dual threat when we were coming up was a guy who ran the ball and like could pass, like kind of could throw. Like he ran the ball, kind of could throw it around. I think now like those guys excel because dual threat just means that you can move around the pocket. Like, and I think that's helped out a lot of that you can't be a statue back there anymore. So I think all kids are getting more athletic, and I think you're seeing the more athletic kids excel at that position a lot more than you used to back in the day, and people aren't trying to turn them into DBs and running backs and receivers.
Yeah. Do you think that dual threat in college football has influenced more the run game or the pass game?
I think it's made the pass game more creative. I think the run game is still the run game. I think it's made the pass game more creative with things like RPOs, move the pocket. We can run more sprint outs. So I can do this. And I have designed quarterback runs in there with powers and things like, but I have more things off of them. I think it gives, with all that space in college, I think it gives the people on defense way too much to look at. And offenses are at like an advantage if they're efficient in college, especially with the way the dual threat quarterback works.
Yeah, right. Because I always think about dual threat quarterbacks as being able to influence the run game. Like
I think
thing is I always think read option, right?
Yeah.
Like you could give
11-on-11
it,
football,
or you could take it, and then it's like the RPO. You could give it, you could take it, then you could throw it. But moving the pocket and being able to, have sprint outs and being elusive in the pocket, picking up the first down when things break down. Obviously, it definitely has evolved the pass game too.
Like, think about you as a rusher. Like, being able to move, play action, like you said, RPO, all those things, that it puts a pause on how much you can pin your ears back sometimes. Like, sometimes you think you even as a player, it's normal to be overly thinking, all right, situation, it's 2nd and 7. Like, it could be, if back in the day, that straight drop back pass, you know it. It's 2nd and 7, you know it. Now it's like, oh, it's 2nd and 7. You're thinking in your head, they could do this, they could do this. And by the time you bite on that run read, he's pulled in through a glance right behind your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting, man. I think but it's good for football. I enjoy it. Shoot, everybody likes points, right? And as a defender and a competitor, I enjoy that it's now moving to the league and you have to figure it out. Like it's more chess for me. Like it's awesome. Like we got to figure it out now. Like does it suck? Yeah, but like it's cool that I get to do the work to try to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to look at it, man. It's a good way to look at it. Unless you don't figure it out, then it starts to suck a little bit.
Well, you gotta keep pushing.
The boys
man.
Got to figure it out.
You just got to keep pushing, man. You got to keep pushing, man. Then what else you gonna do? What's your other option? You got to go out there and spin every Sunday.
In the wise words of DJ Reader, what's the alternative?
Yeah,
it beats the alternative.
It beats the alternative, man.
Culture, man. NBA training camp starting, media days.
Mm-hmm.
What you see out there in the media days? What you see? I know you saw some.
Hey, my dog Jimmy, the head leader of Big Face Coffee, came out with a little emo going. And if you know Jimmy, he does these things on media day. Last year, I think he showed up with what? What do you have? Dreads?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't know. I don't know that anybody saw the emo coming this year. I don't think that was in any of our hearts and minds that was going to happen. But it's Jimmy, man. What you gonna do? It's Jimmy. He's one of the hardest working men in the NBA, man. Hey, what you gonna do?
You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. And he didn't just give you the little straight hair swoop covering one eye, but on the eye that you could see, he had the eyebrow piercing. He really leaned in.
He leaned in the character.
You gotta respect it.
You gotta respect it. If you're gonna go do something, man, hey, jump off the porch and do it all the way. And I was happy about that. I was proud that he went in and just did his thing. The lip piercings was throwing me off though. The double lip piercings.
I wonder how he did those piercings. I mean, they gotta be fake, right?
I never know how the fake piercings work. I don't know. I've never done it. I don't know how to fake piercings
Especially
work.
For the eyebrow. I can understand for the lip, you just slide the hoop, over your lip and it looks like it's real. But for the eyebrow, how do you do that?
I mean, he's got hella money. He can figure out how to do it, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, man. He can pay for that. He can pay for those fake eyebrow piercings.
Man.
Good for him.
Also, man, my dog Dame to the Bucks. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking as a Trailblazer fan.
I know that hurts you.
Dame Dollar, he's been a hero to the city for a lot of years. His whole career, he's done his thing in Portland, but the time had come.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. How do you feel that the organization handled that situation? How do you feel about that situation? Being a guy from Portland, Trailblazer fan.
Well, I mean, I think that based on where we are as an organization, that it was time to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
I personally didn't think that we were going to be able to build a roster around Dame and win in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're in a rebuilding time and we have young players, Anthony Simmons. What's else?
Oh shoot! Sorry.
Simons.
Mom, Dad.
Yeah, Scoot Henderson. We got a solid roster of young guys to build around. And I think that also Dame, deserves to go somewhere where he has a chance to win right now. And I think Milwaukee gives him the chance to do that. But yeah, man, we lost Dame.
Yeah.
He moved on to a better place. I think that he has a chance to win soon.
Dude.
Giannis and Middleton. They
They got
good
a
roster.
real chance to win. And they do lose defense, but I think what they lose in defense, they can spread the floor now, with Dame being wherever. Honestly, he's got like in the gym range. So, I mean, as soon as he steps on the court, he's in range for the most part. And then you'll be able to spread the floor for Giannis. They can't just double down on him with him, Dame, Chris Middleton, Lopez on the wing. He can still shoot the three. I think Giannis can be able to roam the floor the way he really wants to this year. And it might be an MVP year for the Greek Freak.
You think so?
I think so, man. I think he'll be able to roam the floor crazy. And I don't think we've ever seen him be able to do it this way, the way he's going to be able to roam the floor this year.
Yeah. I also think that Dame will be able to have a career year being the second option.
Yeah.
I think that being in Portland, it's him and CJ McCollum were basically like the 1 and 2. But a lot of times when we needed some points scored, Dame was, ball was in Dame's hand.
Exactly.
And, now obviously that call is going to Giannis. I think that'll open Dame up to, expand his game.
I don't know, man. That call it's still gonna be.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's gonna be time, man. And
always.
I think Giannis gonna defer to my boy on when it comes to those shots because they're not just. You know what they're gonna do late in the game? They're gonna pack the lane. They're not gonna let you just drive through the lane late in the game. If anybody lets you do that, they're crazy. They are crazy. Yeah. You got to force them to shoot a three at the end of the game. You got to. You got to try to force your best to force a three at the end of the game.
Especially if you got Giannis Antetokounmpo that you going against, and that man got the rock in his hand.
Yeah, there's no way. If you let him get inside that lane, it's a dunk. I mean, anywhere free throw. I mean, almost damn inside 3-point line's a dunk. So you might as well make it.
Yeah. If Giannis could get a 3-point shot, man, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
He hits it sometimes. Pause. But like he does a good job of making that shot sometimes. It's just sometimes it is. It looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think like if he get better at his free throw shooting, I think it solves all his problems. He don't got to shoot three. Yeah. He don't got to shoot three. What is it with big man and free throws? Weren't you a struggler at the free throw line?
Bro, I could not shoot free throws. And still, man, to this day. I was just hooping on Monday and just struggling at the line still. and now, I don't have any pressure. I don't got eyes on me. I'm in the gym solo. So I'm even changing my technique. I'm thinking about adding some loft to it. And just consistency is something that I still struggle with. I think it's got to be a strength factor. I think the stronger you are, the harder it is for you to shoot free throws.
I don't know, bro. I'm pretty good at shooting free throws. I feel like but like, I used to always laugh at people who struggle because I never understood it. I used to be like, this don't make sense. Like the rim's not moving. This is the easiest time right here. But I felt for those, like, coach called that guy up. He's like, if such and such make 2 free throws, we don't got to run today.
Man, I hate when coaches used to do that. Man, all right, y'all, line it up. Line it up.
Hey, it's usually like a person who's like an asshole. So you like the guy. Everybody loves you. I know they were sad when you got called out. Like,
yeah.
It's all right. It's all right, B-Scar. It's okay, bro. Don't even worry about it, bro.
Coach say that. I look at Coach like, bro, don't you look at me, man. You don't go ahead and let David shoot these free throws so we can be done running. Don't pull me up to that line.
That's a defining moment. You see who has confidence in you in that moment immediately. Or when he makes you make the decisions. When he's like, if you think he's going to make it, then don't get on the line. If you don't think he's going to make it, stand over here. You start seeing people you really like, oh, I thought you was my boy. He's like, my bad. I'm bro.
Damn, coach. Fracturing the team.
Hey, you keep killing friendship.
Why are you fracturing the team, coach? This is why we losing. Y'all ain't together. Y'all don't trust each other.
Right back in your face. He gonna throw it right back on you, bro. He gonna get you. I'm telling you, bro. Coach is so manipulative, bro.
That's a fact.
They are.
I told y'all, see? After the game, see? You know, this is what
you
we
would have
dealing
just
with in
done
practice. A crazy piece of news in culture, in hip-hop culture, was that Tupac's murder's been arrested.
It's kind of crazy.
It's a weird saga, weird story that I haven't done enough research on, but let me tell you how I found out about it. I was in LA for an A16Z event. Andreessen Horowitz, a venture capital firm, they were holding a retreat for a cultural leadership fund, which essentially is bringing African Americans into the venture capital ecosystem by giving us investment opportunities. So they did a retreat, and Ben Horowitz and Mark Andreessen both were hosting a talk. Ben Horowitz, super billionaire, he opens up the talk and is like, hey, everyone, I have some news. Before we get started here, I have some news. And he says, so I've been debating moving to Las Vegas. Me and my wife were looking at Vegas, and we were trying to go and get, I think he said Grandmaster Caz or some other hip hop artist. We're trying to get them to come to Vegas to either move there or do some business. There was something going on in Vegas. Grandmaster Caz was like, "Nah, I don't fuck with Vegas." And Ben was like, "Well, why don't you like Las Vegas?" He said, "Because they never solved Tupac's murder." And so Ben goes on to say, "Well, gosh, that's an issue." So he goes to Las Vegas, him, Grandmaster Caz, Steve Stout, and somebody else on their crew meets with the Las Vegas Police Department. The Las Vegas Police Department bring the case file, 27 pages of the case file, Tupac's murder, put it on the table. They sit in this diner and they go through it together. They looking at stuff, they analyzing this and that. And coming out of the dinner, the Las Vegas Police Department was like, yo, there's something here. There was a lot of things that were overlooked. There's some holes in the investigation, this, that, and the third. We're going to look back into this. Next thing you know, they find the murder. They solve the murder. And so Ben Horowitz opened up his talk at the retreat with Tupac's murder's been solved. And then everybody applauded him. And then they went on to discuss, the thing. And goes to show, man, if you're a super billionaire, you can make some shit happen.
Yeah, bro, just like Batman. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist that one. Nah, but dude, I mean, isn't that scary though? Like that didn't they overlooked that much stuff. Like it's Tupac, right? Like, am I tripping?
Nah, you're not tripping. It's weird. It's so weird. And actually, the guy who was arrested was involved in a Tupac documentary. And I saw this clip on Twitter. It's like a 2-minute long clip of him being interviewed and him talking about being in the car that the shooter was in when they murdered Tupac. And then the interviewer asked him, like, so who pulled the trigger? And he was like, I ain't gonna put my home, like, I ain't gonna snitch on nobody. He said something. It was actually him. But I'm like, hold on. So why were they interviewing and they know that it was people in this car that shot Tupac, but no one was arrested? I didn't fully understand this. So this is kind of the research that I personally need to do because it's not adding up to me. Well, hey, man, Tupac, his murder was solved and the murderer was arrested. Justice has been served.
Correct.
We clap it up for Ben Horowitz and Steve Stout and the boys.
Yeah.
Solving the murder.
Needed, much needed. Definitely needed, man. His family can now, rest and look forward to other things.
No doubt. Ben Horowitz, Silicon Valley bad man. And now we are going to dive into our fall power rankings. For this segment, we are to each list our top 3 to 5 fall favorites. Hold on, you do one, and then I'll do one.
Okay, apple cider.
Hot chocolate.
Halloween.
Sweaters.
Deep fried turkey.
College football parlays.
Ooh, that's a good one. Fall football games, like just crisp. Like there's something about them. There's something about fall football games, and especially now I play in the Midwest. It's like crisp out there on the fringe of getting cold. Love it.
Yeah, I love when the Leafs change colors, man.
Oh, that's a big thing. I like that. And my last one's I'm a Southern boy from the South. We eat these on Thanksgiving to start and around Christmas time. But chitlins for Thanksgiving is one of my favorite fall traditions, and it is definitely on my fall power ranking. It's the number one spot. I did mine in reverse order. It's the number one spot.
Chitlins?
Yeah, chitlins, number one spot.
I've never had chitlins, man.
Man, hey, you pull on up to Carolina, Felicia Reader gets you right, man. You pull up to Cincinnati, she'll be cooking them here. So, Thanksgiving, man. Anytime, though. Throughout that time, Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're cooked all through those weeks. So, you ever let me know, whenever you need to pull up, we got weeks on weeks where you can get some chitlins.
What are chitlins?
Pig intestines.
Are they squishy?
Kinda. I mean, not. It depends.
How do you cook them? Do you boil them?
Hey, bro. My mom cleans them very well. I don't necessarily know how she cooks them. It's something that's like an older, like Black woman thing, bro. Like I don't know that you know too many dudes know how to cook just chilling. So
Okay.
that's like
they just appear on the plate.
Yeah, that's like something your mommy, auntie know how to do. Like their auntie from like back in the backwoods, she know how to do it. She's been doing it her whole life. Like that's like my mom and them things. So I couldn't tell you how they're cooked. I'd be lying.
You scoop them with a spoon?
Indeed. And then, you scoop them with a spoon to get them on your plate. Then you let that juice soak in the rice and everything else around it. And then you eat the chitlins actually with a fork.
They're like beans.
First, you got to throw some hot sauce on there, though. It's preferably paired with greens, rice, those type of things. Those are good pairings. What about you, man? What's your 5? What's your 5th one? What's your 5th thing?
I'll say stuffing. Some people call it dressing. I call it stuffing.
It is.
Since we're going with food, I love stuffing.
Stuffing is very underrated, I feel like, on some people's category. It is high on my list, but some people don't have it as high.
It's number one for me.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, thoroughly. It's number one. I've learned how to make it.
Okay.
The family recipe. My mom makes some great stuffing, and I've taken her recipe. And
shout out to Mama Scarlett, man.
The thing is, if you use brioche bread, fresh brioche, you got to use a couple different types of bread. But I found that brioche is great for it.
Okay. I haven't ventured off. I've just gotten the family macaroni and cheese recipe. Got it down packed last year. So my mom makes this like 5-6 sheet macaroni and cheese. She really takes her time with it, and I just made it for the first time last year and did a really good job. So this year, I think I'm gonna venture off and try to go for red velvet cake. And try to make a cake this year. And I don't know if I'm ready for that turkey, frying the turkey or anything like that, bro. I'm still gonna probably go pick my turkey up from honey baked ham or something.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm coming over, man, at some point this fall. Like I said, if things remain the same. For me, I'm coming to Cincinnati, and I'm gonna eat some chitlins for the first time.
Yeah, man, pull on up. We'll bring the whole crew. Everybody can eat chitlins, and we can shoot that Tuesday from my crew.
There we go. And that's a plan. That's a plan. Deej, that wraps our culture segment, man. Who y'all got coming up this week?
We got the Cardinals, man. We gotta go get a dub. We gotta find a way to get the dub, get even before the bye week, man. I'm self-proclaiming it right here, so we gotta get even before the bye week, and then come out of that bye week really rolling.
Well, all right, Deej. Hey, there we go. Fucking another one, man.
Another one. DJ
Another
Khaled.
one.
Shout out to my guy Khaled.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. That's been another episode of B-Scar TV with my dog Deej on the Deej and Beej segment.
Still
catch y'all next time. Yeah, Beej and Deej, Deej and Beej. The Beej needs some work. We're taking our time on naming the segment. We just giving content.
Giving content, man. We got time. We got time.
Let's go, man. Peace. This episode of B-Scar TV has been brought to you by Scarlet Creative. For the full-length video episode and more content, find us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at B-Scar TV. And please, leave us a review. Drop a comment. What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? Who do you want to hear from? We would love to hear from you. This is your host, with the most, Brennan Scarlett, signing off. Peace.